You know what you don't have to mask up for is our new show on Saturdays, Eat, Drink, Smoke, which I'm already a fan. You throw those three words out there, I'm a fan already. 5 to 7 p.m. on Saturdays. Tony Katz, one of the hosts, joining us here on the Chad Hasty Show. Tony, good morning. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I appreciate all the corrections. It was one after another. It was like listening to the New York Times in real life.
Well, no, they don't issue corrections. Well, a few days later they will. A few days later. See, we act a little bit faster here. Hey, it's a pleasure having you on. I was looking at the Eat, Drink, Smoke Facebook page earlier on, and it sounds like this week's going to be a pretty good show to listen to.
Yeah, so this is about bourbon and cigars and really about spirits and lifestyle and about the idea that there are things going on outside of our political insanities, which are important, but a step away is a good thing. So
yes.
We've been doing this podcast for a couple of years now. It's on Apple Podcast, Eat, Drink, Smoke. You can go and subscribe and write a review and leave a 5-star review. And then the opportunity came to bring it to radio. You know, I'm a radio host out of Indianapolis. I do a morning show like you do a morning show, and then I have a syndicated midday show as well, and this is just another part of the extension of things that I like to talk about and do. But it's not about expertise; it's about enjoyment, and it's about like the art of cigars. And I know you're a cigar guy. And if you go on your Facebook page, like every month, it's like, hey, here's something about cigars, or there's something about ammo. I'm in love. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so it's about talking about these things that kind of connect us, regardless of who we are.
Absolutely, and this is this is. I'm sure for you, it's an outlet. It is okay. Now we get to have fun. Now we get to, not that normal radio isn't fun, but when you're talking about cigars and good bourbon, a good rye that you're having. I know y'all reviewed Basil Hayden's this week. That's just something to relax and enjoy, and you don't have to get frustrated or anything else. It's just something that can bring everybody together.
Yeah, anybody who has spent any time in the cigar lounge, whether by you guys at Smokers Haven, which is I hear just absolutely wonderful things about, or wherever it is that you may be, the cigar lounge brings people together. It doesn't matter your politics, doesn't matter anything. People have these really rational, good, enjoyable conversations about sometimes light and sometimes heavy subjects, right? And so to be able to enjoy what a distiller's created, whether it's the Basil Hayden, we did a review of the Kentucky Straight Bourbon. I'm a huge fan of their dark rye,
yes.
Which I think is just one of the an underrated and exceptional drink. It allows people to engage in a conversation regardless of socioeconomics, regardless of anything else, because they're connected by, it's like they say of cigar smokers, it's the brotherhood of the leaf. They're connected by this thing. And so it doesn't matter how much you paid for a stick. It doesn't matter what job you have. When you're sitting together in a cigar lounge, maybe 6 feet apart, I don't know, you're together, you are at one, and you're able to really kind of dig in. And that's why I love cigars so much.
When it comes to cigars, what's sort of your maybe go-to or your favorite sticks that you like?
So I, by nature, tend to the Nicaraguans, the things out of Esteli. The Dominicans, usually for me, have more of that pepper kind of spice. The Nicaraguans have more of those kind of earthy kind of flavors. Dirt is actually a flavor. Leather, those kinds of things. So I usually tend towards those. As for things that I'm just, are always in my humidor, right now the Avo number 3 is in my humidor, which doesn't make any sense to the whole Nicaraguan side, but it's got this lovely kind of chocolatey undertone, and that's not infused. That's just the natural tobacco working its way. But I don't have anything that I'm like, I must have 24/7. No. I like to spread it around. I like to try. I like what people create.
Well, and we've seen recently, with the cigar brands, they're just releasing so much and so many good things, so many good sticks out there.
So one of the things that we get into on Eat, Drink, Smoke is that there is some politics in it, and it's the politics of cigars, because one of the worst things that's happening out there, and get with your senators, get with Cruz and Cornyn, get with local officials as well, they try to lump cigar smokers in with cigarette smokers. And the FDA does this. They're two completely different things. No one has ever marketed a cigar towards kids ever. No group of 17-year-olds thought it would be really cool to hang out at the local convenience store and light up a cigar. It's not the way it works. And when they do that, every cigar shop you've ever been into is a mom and pop. It's owned by your neighbors. And so when the politicos go after cigars like they go after cigarettes, they're putting your neighbors out of business. And that's a worthwhile fight to have. So getting into those kinds of things, like they raised cigar taxes in Michigan. They just doubled the cigar tax in Virginia. Well, now a $9.50 cigar could be $11.50. That $2 is the difference for people between buying it and not. And I want those people to be able to buy it and not be told by government, we're here for your health or some other nonsense, and you can't have it.
Visiting with Tony Katz, the host of Eat, Drink, Smoke, here on KFYO Saturdays 5 to 7, also Saturdays 12 to 2 on Talk 1340, our sister station. When it comes to the audience, and you know, we've got, you know, cigar smokers who are brand new. We've got people who have been smoking for 30 years who are out there. Who do you kind of target towards, or is it you know, kind of open for everybody?
I would argue that it's open for everybody, but certainly it's open for people who have the inclination. It's like when we do drink reviews, right? When we're reviewing bourbons or whatever the case may be, we look at it in a couple different ways. You know, we're going over what is the nose and what's the palate. We're going over what the mash bill is, meaning how is it created? You know, people think bourbon has to be from Kentucky. Not the case. Bourbon is the great American drink. It has to be 51% corn. It has to be aged in an American charred oak barrel, first use. That's how it has to be done. It can only be diluted with water for the proof. It can't have anything else messing with it. So we go through all those things, and then we ask ourselves, here's the MSRP. Here's how much it costs a bottle. Is it in your liquor cabinet? Right? So there's the idea of how good the juice is, and then there's the idea of the dollars, and is it something you're going to spend your money on? So more is like passionate fans as opposed to bringing expertise. I do interviews with experts for those kinds of things. Yeah. That's where we're into. So if you're somebody who enjoys it, wants to hear about new drinks, things you haven't heard of before, one of the things you'll hear tomorrow, have you ever heard of a baby Guinness, Chad?
I have not.
Okay. You got to tune in tomorrow, because I'm a Gen Xer, and I got introduced to baby Guinness for the first time in my life last week, and I can't believe it took this long. You will not, but it is the perfect after dinner drink, creamy and coffee-esque, and it pairs with enough cigars to make you happy for a lifetime. And that's some of the stuff that we get into.
Okay, now you've got my attention. It's Eat, Drink, Smoke here on KFYO, 5 to 7 p.m. on Saturdays, and also on our sister station, Talk 1340 from 12 to 2. Tony Katz, host of Eat, Drink, Smoke. Thanks for joining us this morning, Tony. Appreciate it, and we're looking forward to having you for a while. And let's do this again soon.
Anytime you want, and make sure you follow on Facebook, Eat, Drink, Smoke. And I appreciate you, Chad.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. That's Tony Katz here on the Chad Hasty Show, host of Eat, Drink, Smoke, KFYO 5 to 7 p.m. on Saturday.